Oxygen sensors in your vehicle probably don't cross your mind until you start having issues. But did you know a bad oxygen sensor can mess with your car's performance and seriously hurt your fuel mileage? In this short video, I'll walk you through the most common symptoms of a failing oxygen sensor, so you know what to watch out for. At the end, I'll also break down how much it usually costs to replace one. Please subscribe and let's get started. One of the first signs of trouble is the check engine light turning on. Often, there may be no noticeable symptoms, but your scanner will show oxygen trouble codes like P0030, 31, 130, 131, 132, 133, and 134. If your car idles rough when stopped or parked, something's off. Idle RPMs should stay below 1,000. A faulty oxygen sensor might be the reason if the RPMs spike or fluctuate. Still, rough idle isn't exclusive to oxygen sensor failure. Any part that affects air-fuel mix could be the cause. That's why it's important to look at this symptom alongside others. Poor engine performance. If the combustion process is disrupted, you'll notice the engine isn't as responsive. Step on the gas and the power feels weak. Sometimes it's subtle at first, but it can get worse, making driving dangerous if left unchecked. To avoid unsafe driving conditions caused by poor acceleration, get the car checked as soon as symptoms appear. Lower gas mileage. Your engine needs the right balance of air and fuel to run efficiently. If a bad sensor fails to detect that the mix is too rich, more fuel than necessary gets burned, reducing MPG. You'll notice more frequent stops at the pump and a hit to your wallet. Stalling issues. A rough idle can lead to the engine stalling altogether. Often, it starts with misfires and worsens if ignored. Once the engine loses power, it may shut off entirely. Restarting might work, but there's no guarantee. Failed emissions test. Since O2 sensors are part of the emissions system, faulty ones throw off exhaust readings. While other problems can cause failed emissions, bad oxygen sensors are a frequent culprit. Run a scan to get the exact codes and find out what's wrong. Strange engine sounds. If the sensor isn't regulating the air-fuel ratio, carbon buildup can occur, and the mix might go lean. That can lead to knocking or pinging sounds, classic signs of pre-ignition. However, bad fuel, clogged injectors, or engine damage can also cause these sounds, especially under load. Catalytic converter damage. So what happens if you ignore a faulty sensor? Eventually, the unbalanced mix can destroy your catalytic converter. Since this part is expensive, keeping your O2 sensors healthy is a smart move. Replacing a bad sensor early can help avoid costly repairs. O2 sensor replacement cost. Replacing an oxygen sensor typically costs between $50 and $450, depending on various factors. Your car's make and model play a big role. Smaller, budget-friendly cars usually cost less to repair than big trucks or luxury vehicles, which have pricier parts. Labor is another big factor. If you can do it yourself, you'll save a lot, since sensors alone range from $20 to $175. It's a good DIY job if you have a service manual handy. Delaying the fix can lead to bigger issues. Ignoring a bad sensor can turn a simple repair into a major problem later on. That's why I always recommend swapping a faulty oxygen sensor as soon as you spot the signs. It's cheaper and easier in the long run.